All right. So the Rebbe explained before, everybody has a part in Tchias HaMesim. Why? Because Tchias HaMesim is associated with mitzvahs. And everybody does mitzvahs. Even Poshe Yisrael, they do mitzvahs. Gan Eden is another story. Over there, you have to earn Gan Eden because that's more associated with Torah, which is more a spiritual reward. It's neshamas without gufim. But the Rebbe brought out, so according to this, so in order to earn Tchias HaMeisim, at least you have to do mitzvahs. You're saying what he explained is that everybody does mitzvahs, but there is a need for mitzvahs in order to get Tchias HaMeisim. But the Mishnah quotes the pasuk. The pasuk seems to say in the end of the pasuk quoted that even mitzvahs aren't necessary to get Tchias HaMeisim. Quotes from the pasuk Neitzer Matoai Maise Yodai Lihispoir. That means the reason that we get Gan Eden just because we are been planted by Hashem. Hashem is bragging with us the essence of a Yid, not even the level of doing mitzvahs. Just because he is a Yid, he gets Tchias HaMeisim. But we're also saying tzaddikim, amich kulam tzaddikim, explained before, because every time you do a mitzvah, you're called a tzaddik. Tzedakah is a mitzvah. Those who do the mitzvahs are tzaddikim. So it seems in this same pasuk, it says that you have to be a tzaddik, which means you have to do mitzvahs in order to get chiyas hameisim. And then it says neitzer mato and ma'aseh yodeli spoyer, that just the fact, the essence that you are a yid, you are already getting tchias hameisim. And the Rebbe explains now there's taka two levels in tchias hameisim. One level in tchias hameisim is one idea in tchias hameisim is as a reward, but taka in the truth, it's not even as a reward. The essence of a yid in of itself entitles him to entitles them to tchias hameisim. Let's look inside Gimel. Yesh loymar, you can say shebahagilui sheyiye b'tchias hameisim shnei inyonim. The revelation that will be in tchias hameisim, there are two aspects. Number one is haschar al ha'avoida dikiyum hamitzvahs. One is the reward for the service of doing mitzvahs, observing mitzvahs, which is uh, indicated by the pasuk va'amech kulam tzadikim. In other words, because you're a tzadik, you did mitzvahs. That's why you have tchias hameisim as a reward. Shehamshoches sheimshichu Yisrael al yidei hamitzvahs shekiyumu achshov. Those areas that they draw down the light, the energies that the Yidden draw down when they do mitzvahs, now, Tia Oz Begilu, then it will be revealed. So Tchias HaMeisim will have the revelation of the mitzvahs that we do now, because right now it's there, we draw it down, but it's not revealed, it's not open. It's only going to be open Tchias HaMeisim, that's going to be open. But that's only one level, the first level. That's the Amech Kulam Tzadikim. But V'ali Deizeh, and through this, through that revelation that they are going to get from the mitzvahs that they did, Yisalu Achar Kach, So then later on, they will be elevated L'madrega Nailis Yosef. They will go, Achkach is in the parenthesis because, as the Rebbe explains in the order, but afterwards, the pastors in the Pnim, they will later on go to a higher Madrega, which is Shetizgale Maloson Shel Yisrael Mitzad Atzmo. That then it will be revealed the advantage of a Yid on their own, not because they did the mitzvah, they were mamshich this Gilui Oir. It will be revealed their advantage on their own, their essence. Sheheim neitzer matoai maase yodai lispoir. That they are the sprout of Hashem's planting. They are the actions of Hashem that Hashem is praising with. That level, shehu l'mayla yoser, gam meha hamshocha shenimshechas al yidei kiyum hamitzvos. This is a higher level even than the level that comes through the Kiyum HaMitzvahs. So the Kiyum HaMitzvahs, the Gilui, will be in Tchiyas HaMeisim first. Then they will reach even a higher level, which their essence of the level of a Yid will be revealed in Tchiyas HaMeisim. Why do we say that this is a higher level? Because to a certain extent, the level of reward of Kiyum HaMitzvahs that will be revealed is not only in Tchiyas HaMeisim, that's also in Yemais HaMashiach. The level of Gilui, the etzem of the Yid, that's only in Tchiyas HaMeisim. But the level, the Hamshocha that we're mamshich now, so the revelation comes forth in the future, is not only in Tchiyas HaMeisim, that's also in Yemais HaMashiach. Again, so I'm not sure if I said it or V'yesh L'hoisif. She'iker HaChidush Va'ilui de Tchilas HaMeisim Hu. The main novelty, what's the special elevation of Tchilas HaMeisim? She'oz Tizgale Mailas Yisrael Atzmo. Then will be revealed the advantage of Yidden himself. That will be only in Tchiyas HaMeisim. The Gilui HaHamshocha Shenimshechas Al Yidei HaMitzvahs, the revelation of the Hamshocha that comes to mitzvahs, Yegam B'Yemais HaMashiach. That will also be in the days of Mashiach, Koidem Zman HaTchiyah, before the time of Tchiyas HaMeisim. K'mevuer b'Tanya, as explained in Tanya, Shal Yidei Maseinu V'Avodeseinu Achshov, through our actions, our service. Now, Mamshichim Oirin Sof Lamato. We bring down the endless light of Hashem below. That means when we do Torah mitzvahs, now we bring down the Eirin Sof. However, we don't see it. V'hagilui da hamshocha zu. When is it going to be revealed, that which we bring down now? Both b'Yemais HaMashiach u'b'Tchiyas HaMeisim. In Yemais HaMashiach and Tchiyas HaMeisim, we will have the revelation of the Hamshocha that we brought down now. But it's not going to be at the same level. Tchiyas HaMeisim is going to be revealed on a higher level. Elo, as the Rebbe says in the parentheses, Shabetchiyas HaMeisim gam hagilui da hamshocha zu yeh b'ifnai l'yisrael. Also, the revelation of this hamshocha will be on a higher way. So, but the gilui of the hamshocha that we do Torah mitzvahs now is going to be both it's not going to be only in Tchias HaMesim. It's going to be also in Yemei HaMashiach that precedes, comes before Tchias HaMesim. It's not at the same level, but it's not the main chiddush of Tchias HaMesim. The main chiddush of Tchias HaMesim, the iker hachidush v'ha'ilui the Tchias HaMesim, the main novelty, what's the main chiddush? And elevation Tchias HaMesim, who sha'oz yizgale hashodesh the Yisrael. Then will be revealed the root of Yin, k'moi shehem mushroshim b'ha'atzmus, as they are rooted in Atzmut. That neitzer matoai maise yoda lihispoir. That's the novelty. That's the specialty of Tchias HaMesim. Not so much the schar for kiyum mitzvahs, which is also during Yimois HaMashiach. Yes, Tchias HaMesim will have a greater revelation of the mitzvahs, but the main novelty of Tchias HaMesim is that then will be revealed the elevation of the Yidden as their root in Atzmus. So, how come the Rebbe is going to explain now? In some Maimorim, it talks about that in Tchias HaMesim is going to be the as the Rebbe mentioned before, and the Rebbe says it now. Over there, it speaks about that in Tchias HaMesim will be the reward for mitzvahs. But here we're actually saying that the reward for mitzvahs is going to be partially revealed in Yemei HaMashiach. We're not going to have to wait for Tchias HaMesim for that Gilu. Why does it say in the Maimorim that it's going to come when Yemei HaMashiach? The Rebbe explains that when we want to talk about the schar, which is limited, Gan Eden, versus Olam Haba, so we mention that. Let's look inside. We'll see the Rebbe will explain. V'yesh leimar, the ma shekosu bekama drushim. This, that what is written in many of the Maimorim, Huva Le'il, was brought down before. Shabitchias hamesim yiyeh gilui hahamshocha. That in Tchias HaMesim will be the revelation of the Hamshocha Shenimsheches Aidei Kiyum mitzvahs that extends when we do the mitzvah now. It's going to be the revelation. So why do they say in those Maimorim that's going to be in Tchias HaMesim? But it's not only Tchias HaMesim. We're just saying even Yemei Mashiach will see the reward. The Rebbe brought from the Tanya before. Dr. Kishom Medubar Bahaschar Li Yisrael Sheyiyeh Ba'olam Haba Avu Ravidosom B'Teiro Mitzvahs Ba'olam Hazeh. Because in those Maimorim they talk about the reward for the Yidden that they get in the world to come for their service in this world. We're talking about when is the reward. So ushleimus hascharhu, what is the full payment, the complete payment, the complete reward is she yoyir lehem bigilui ha'amshocha shemshicha adekim hamitzvos, that it's going to reveal to them that which they have drawn down through the mitzvahs. They do the work now in Olam Hazeh. Now we're doing the work. We're doing mitzvahs. The ultimate full reward will be when that hamshocha that you brought down will shine, will be revealed. V'lachein mevur b'drushim elu. That's why those Mamarim they explain. Sheschar hanishomes began Eden, the reward for the souls that they get in Gan Eden, hu shemasigim ha'elokus dehatoiro shalomdu ba'olam hazeh. The reward is that they grasp the godliness of the Torah that they studied in this world. That's the payment for that the neshama is getting an aid. The Torah he chachmosei shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Torah is the wisdom of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Wisdom is Oir HaMemale. That's the Oir that fills the world. That's the level of Chochmah, Chochmah de Atzilus. As it comes down from Chochmah de Atzilus, it's an Oir HaMemale. So that's on one hand, V'haschar Tchiyas HaMeisim. And then you have the other schar. The schar of Neshamas B'Gan Eden is limited. The schar that we get in Tchiyas HaMeisim Hu, Sha'oz Yiru Einenu Gilu Elokusei Habilti Balgavul. We'll see the revelation of Hashem's godliness, which is not limited. Shenimshach al yidei kiyum hamitzvus. That comes through fulfillment of mitzvahs. Mitzvahs are connected to Ritzoino Yizbarach. Torah is Chochmoso Yizbarach, which is Memale Kol Almim. This is connected to the will of Hashem. Rotzin Hashem, it says, Shalemailo Mechochmosei, which is higher than Hashem's wisdom. Oir HaSovev. So therefore we say that where do we get the ultimate reward will be in Tchiyas HaMeisim, the Biligvul. Amnam kol zeh hu haschar li Yisrael avu raveidosam b'Torah mitzvahs. This is reward for the Yidden for their service in Torah mitzvahs. So if we want to talk about the reward, we're going to say that Tchiyas HaMeisim is the ultimate reward. Yes, there's also Yemei HaMashiach, but where is the ultimate reward for mitzvahs in Tchiyas HaMeisim? But we're not saying in those Maimorim that that is all that Tchiyas HaMeisim provides. There's a whole other aspect. Those Maimorim are not talking about what Tchiyas HaMeisim provides. They are talking about what kind of a schar do we get for Torah mitzvahs. So the schar for Torah is in Gan Eden, neshamas alone. The schar of mitzvahs is neshamas begufim, is a bligvul revelation in Tchiyas HaMeisim. But the truth is, but what is the main novelty? What's the greatest elevation that is going to be in El Mabo and Tchiyas HaMeisim? Who Agilu the Milas Yisrael Atzmam is the revelation of the Mila of the Yidden themselves, that their Netzer Matoa and Maisi Yodeli Yispoir, that they are a planting, a sprout of the plant and the actions of Hashem to praise the essence of a Yid that he was created by Hashem, which Hashem is bragging with him, is praising with him. That's going to be revealed in Tchiyas HaMeisim. Those Maimorim weren't talking about what's happening in Tchiyas HaMeisim. They were talking about the different rewards. But when we want to talk about what's the main novelty of Tchiyas HaMeisim, that's going to be the fact that the essence advantage of a Yid is going to be revealed. The reward of the mitzvahs, on the other hand, that's not only by Tchiyas HaMeisim, that's going to be also Yemei HaMashiach, a little bit more by Tchiyas HaMeisim. Ubiur ha'inyan, to explain this idea, the Gimel Madreges Elu. So we're talking about three levels. We're talking about Gan Eden. It's the reward for the neshamas alone, the reward for Torah. We're talking about also Ubeis Hadargis b'Tchiyas HaMeisim, the two steps in Tchiyas HaMeisim. One is the level of reward of the mitzvahs that will be revealed then, and two, the essence of the Yid will be revealed then. So to understand this better is the Isa Gemara to bring down what the Gemara says. The Gemara says, Kol HaNeviim Kulam Loi Nisnabu Eloli Mois HaMashiach. All the prophecies, the prophets, all of them did not prophesize what's going to happen in Tchias HaMeisim. Eloli Mois HaMashiach. They only prophesied what's going to take place in the times of Mashiach. Avol la'olam habo, but in the world to come, in Tchias HaMeisim, ayin lo'iraso. No eye has seen. The Nevi'im also didn't see. Elikim zulosecho. They did not see Elikim, the level of Tchias HaMeisim, besides Hashem. Nobody knows. Tchias HaMeisim is a level which nobody can comprehend. That is what the Gemara says. Ubehemshech ha'inyan shom. And the Gemara over there continues, Mai ayin loy ro'aso chulu. What is this level that ayin loy ro'aso? Ze Eden shloi sholto ba'ayin kol beria. That's called Eden. We have Gan Eden. That's the Garden of Eden. But then you have Eden itself. The level that Ayin Leiraso, Olam Habo, Tchias HaMeisim, that is Eden itself. Shaloi sholto boy Ayin kol beria. No eye of any creation has dominated it. Nobody perceived it. Nobody knows. Nobody has seen. Nobody is privy to the level of Tchias HaMeisim. Ay, Shemo Toimar Adam Arisha Heichen Hoya Began Chulu. But Adam Arisha was in Gan Eden, so he was also in Eden. So how do you say that Eden nobody says? And the Gemara answers, Gan Lechud, Be'eden Lechud. There's one thing, the garden, and there's one thing, the Eden. Don't say the two. Adam Arisha was in Gan Eden, but Eden itself, Olam Haba, that's nobody's there. Behainu. So that means Shahachidush v'ha'ilui, the Olam Haba Tchias HaMeisim. What is the novelty? What is the advantage of Olam Haba, which is the Tchias HaMeisim? Legabe Yemoisa Mashiach, relative to Yemoisa Mashiach, who sha'oz yih hagilui debchinas Eden. At that point will be the revelation of the level which is called Eden. That's the level that Ayin Leira, so that no eye has perceived, no eye has seen. When Tchias HaMeisim will come, then will be the level of Eden. So from this is understood. The fact that in Olam Haba will be revealed that which we draw down when we do mitzvahs, so it will be open in Olam Haba and Tchias HaMeisim. Since that revelation generally, especially it'll be in Tchias HaMeisim, but generally it's also going to be Gambi Mois HaMashiach. Ein ze amitis inyan the Olam Haba. So that's not really what Olam Haba is about Schar Mitzvah, because that Schar Mitzvah, the revelation of the Schar Mitzvah, also exists in Yemois HaMashiach. Ve'ikar ha'inyan the Olam Habahu. What is the main aspect of Olam Haba? Hu hagilui de bechinas Eden. The level of Eden. The level of Eden, the level of Lord Eden is the level of delight. Behu ha'tainug ha'atzmi Shemis Aneg Yisrael. That's the essence, delight, that Hashem delights with a Yid, Shelemaylo Gam Mehatainuk Shemis Aneg B'Torah Mitzvahs. That is even higher than the delight that Hashem delights from Torah Mitzvahs. The delight with a Yid is greater and higher than the delight of the mitzvahs that a Yid does. And that is what the main novelty of Tchiyas HaMesim. Ulahoir, the Rebbe says, I want to point out, Shebebekamo mekoimes mevuar hachiluk ben Torah lemitzvahs, that in many places it explains the difference between Torah and mitzvahs. The betoira shi chochmose yizborech melubash haoras hatainuk. In the Torah, which is chochma, it's already limited. It's come down in limitation. Over there is only a ray, a haore, a shine of the tainuk. But mitzvahs which are His blessed will, melubash atzmus hatainug. Over there is the essence of tainug, which is bechinas Eden, and there is the level of Eden. So it seems like the Rebbe was trying to say the whole time over here that the tainug of mitzvahs is not as high as the tainug that is in the Neshamas Yisrael themselves. That's a higher level. That's what the Rebbe just finished saying. But he says that in the other Maimorim, he's saying over there, it seems like the advantage of mitzvahs is that there is the tainug b'chinas Eden. I think what the Rebbe means with the lahoir, that over there it's a little different than it says over here. Because by us, the Rebbe is saying that the Eden of the essence of the neshama is greater than the tainug from the mitzvahs. But in the other Maimorim, it says that in mitzvahs, you have the atzmus hatainug. Okay. V'zeu shebegan Eden ksiv v'nohor yoytze me'eden lahashkis esagon. What does it say with regards to Gan Eden? It says that the river comes out from Eden, and that waters the garden. So the level of Tainug, Shahat Tainug, Shenimshach L'Nishomes Began Eden, the delight that extends to the soul of Gan Eden, Basogas HaTorah, when they grasp the Torah, Hurak Hamshocha Mitzumtsemes Mebichinas Eden. That's a restricted that extends from the level of Eden. Nohor Yoitze Eden. Eden is Tainug. From Tainug comes a river that waters Gan. So Hamshocha Mitzumtsemes Mebichinas Eden. A restricted Hamshocha that comes from Eden, Shenimsheches Al Yidei Hanor. That gets drawn down by means of the river, through the river. Shemafsik Bein Eden Legan. Over there is an interruption between the Eden and the Gan. Mash'en Kein Ba'olam Habo. As opposed to an Olam Habo. The Rebbe is addressing this with exactly. There's Mash'en Kein Ba'olam Habo. Shu matan schoron shel mitzvahs, as opposed to Olam Habo, who agilui de bechinas Eden atzmai. So that is the revelation of Eden itself. It doesn't go through the Nohor. It's not the Haor Mitzumtzemes. The Eden becomes revealed in the mitzvahs. But here we're saying that it's not only the mitzvahs that are going to be revealed, that we're going to get the level of Eden, Tchias HaMesim, which is the level of Eden, Ayin Le'Raso, the level of Eden. Here we're saying that you're going to get the Atzmus, the Gilu of a Yid, the Etzem, Neitzer Matoi. But in the Maimorim over there, it seems like we're going to get Eden through the mitzvahs. So the Rebbe says this is in a general way. But since, again, the same point, since we do have the Gilui of the reward of the mitzvahs in Yemois HaMashiach, the main, specifically the main chiddush of Tchias HaMesim is not the revelation of the Gilui of the mitzvahs, but themselves, the essence, the delight with the Yidden himself. The Yeshloimah, Shazo B'chlos. We said this is in a general way. Avol B'protis, but very specific in a detailed way. Kivon Sha'gilui da mitzvahs. Since the revelation of mitzvahs is generally going to be also in the days of Mashiach, Amru, and still they say, so this is going to be the Gilui mitzvahs, and still the Gemara brought down before, Shabi Moisa Mashiach lo yiyah Gilui de b'chinas ayin le'ra so b'chinas Eden. Is not going to be the level of ayin le'ra, so the level of Eden l'chud, gan l'chud, that it's not going to be in Yemeisa Mashiach. V'gilui b'chinas zu, the level yirak ba'olam haba. It's going to be only in olam haba. So we know the schar mitzvah, the rebel, is also Tchias HaMesim. And still we're saying that that's not really the ultimate Eden, because we're saying Ayin Le'Ra, so that it's not, Eden itself is higher. Muchach mezeh, she'ikar b'chinas Eden she'yeh b'olam habohu. The main level of Eden is going to be in Olam Haba. Is not the schar mitzvah she'oz yizgala ha'tainug ha'atzmi she'misanig b'Yisrael. That is going to be revealed, the essence tainug, that the Eibishter delights with a yid, shalamayla gam ha'tainug ha'atzmi she'b'mitzvahs, which is higher than the essence of the light of mitzvahs. The Rebbe proves that we have to say that in Tchias HaMesim is going to be more than the Eden, like we speak in the Maimorim over there, which is the Gilui of the mitzvahs, and the mitzvah have the level of Seviv Kulamim, they have the Eden. That's not the ultimate Eden. Eden ultimately is the Atzmus HaTainig of a Yid, the revelation, which is higher than the mitzvahs. Because in Tchias HaMesim we already have the revelation of the reward, and that's not Eden. So therefore, we have to say that the real level of Tchias HaMesim is going to be the Tainug of the essence of the Yid. Hey, so the Rebbe says, now explaining Ubir Ha'ilui the Tchias HaMesim legabi Yemeis HaMashiach, to explain the advantage of Tchias HaMesim relative to Yemeis HaMashiach. And really also Achiluk, also understand the difference between Beis Hadargis Shabbatchias HaMesim Gufa, in between the two, the difference between the two levels, which is the Tchias HaMesim itself. We have the part of Tchias HaMesim, which is the Gilui of the Schar Mitzvah, and then we have the Gilui of the Tainug Atzmi of a Yid, of the Neitzer Matoi. We have the La'olam Yirshu Oretz, that the level, because they're tzaddikim, that's why they inherit the land. That's the schar of the Maisim Tovim, the mitzvahs that will be revealed. And the second level, they reveal the essence of the Yuvan Bahagdim Biur Hamaila the Moisa Mashiach Legabe Gan Eden. So first we have to introduce, to explain the advantage of Yemesa Mashiach over Gan Eden. To understand the Maila of Tchias HaMesim over Yemesa Mashiach, we have to first understand the Maila of Yemesa Mashiach over Gan Eden. Shehagilui de Gan Eden hu davke leneshames beloy gif. The revelation of Gan Eden is specifically neshamas without a body. But v'hagilui, the Yemesa Mashiach, but the revelation of the days of Mashiach, yeh gam lemata be'olam haze hagashmi. That will also be the revelation of the times of Mashiach, will be also below in this physical world. Ukemoi, like the Gemara in Ksubas over there brings down, that Asida Eretz Yisrael shetoitzi gulus kois, that in the future Eretz Yisrael, the land of Eretz Yisrael, will produce delicacies. It'll come right from the ground. Not going to have to make it into delicacies. It'll give out gluskois. So why is it that the reward of Gan Eden is dafke after the body is gone? We don't go to Gan Eden while we're alive. But then the Gilu of Yemesa Mashiach will take place while people are neshamas beguf. V'hatam lo zehu. The reason for that is ki began Eden hu hagilui de oir hamemali. In Gan Eden is the revelation of the light Hashem that fills the world, oir mugbal, a limited light. V'lochein einoi nimshach lemato. That's why it does not extend below. You can't get Gan Eden here in a guf, in a gashmi, in Olam Hazeh, because the light of Memale does not filter down to come down all the ways here. Mashein came b'Yemei Mashiach, as opposed to the days of Mashiach, Yegilui Oir Einsof Habilti Mugmal. There is going to be the revelation of the Ein Sof, which is not limited. That's why the revelation will be below too. It'll be a revelation of Soivev, Ein Sof, Habilti Gvul. It's not limited to Neshamas alone. It can even come down to the guf, because the fact that there's a guf, a limitation, does not limit the light of the Ein Sof. V'oid chiluk. And another difference. The Gan Eden yesh bechlolus shtei bechines. Gan Eden, generally, we talk about two levels of Gan Eden. You have Gan Eden hatachten, Gan Eden elyon. You have the lower level of Gan Eden, and you have the upper level of Gan Eden. There's two Gan Edens, generally speaking. B'chol echad mehem, in each one of these Gan Edens, yesh ribui madreges ad ein ketz. There is an endless amount of levels, no end to the levels. K'maimer Hazal, as our sages of blessed memory say, Talmidei Chachomim ein lan menucha chulu, yelchu mechayel l'choyel. The Talmidei Chachomim have no rest; they keep on going from strength to strength, which means she'olim tomid memadrege lemadrege. They're always going from one step to the other. That means that there is no limitation of steps there. There's plenty of steps. Keep on going. Map upirush ein lohem menucha. Why does it say they have no rest? It should say they go from step to step. Why ein lahem menucha? What does it mean ein lahem menucha? Who? Shaliyosa mimadrega lemadrega hi al yidei avodah. How do they go from step to step? They work for it. That's why it's called no menucha. They will keep on working, going up. What kind of work do they have to do to go from step to step? So the Baaliyah tzorich liyas mekoidem. Before you can go up, first you need to have a tevilah Benhar Dinur. You have to immerse yourself in the river of Dinur. That's the river of fire. You have to go to the mikveh before you can go to the higher level. Into the river, you have to title yourself. In the Nahar Dinur, Lishkoyach ha-soga v'ha-tainug, the madriga tachtoina, to forget what you grasped and what you delighted of the lower level. Before you go up to the higher level, you must forget the lower level. So that is number one. The gam ha'aliyah atzma, and also the actual elevation, hiderech ha'amud sheben madrega l'madrega. There is a pillar, and you go through that pillar that stands between these different steps. From one step to the other step, there is an amud, and you got to go up that pillar to get to the next step. Shekam al yidei zeh, also through this pillar, whom is going up there, whom is battle mehasagosa kodemes, he negates and he loses his previous grasp what he did. So you have two things to go from one step to the other step. One, you have to immerse yourself in the river of Dinur, and two, you got to go through the pillar. And they both accomplish seemingly that they're mevatel your previous understanding so that you can go to the next level. But the difference is between them, Elo, she habitul shal yidei hatvila benhar dinor, the bittul that takes place through the immersion in the Nahar Dinur, who bittul shemitzad hatachten. That is the bittul that comes from the lower one, the one who is making the aliyah. Bittul shalidei ha'amud, and then the bittul that takes place by coming through the pillar to the amud, who shem is battle mitzad gilu oir. Over there is you are battle because of the revelation of light shel madrega el yoina shemeirel of the higher step that shines on you. So these are the two things that are avoida. Immersing yourself, which is your bittul from your perspective, and the pillar climbing is when you feel the light of the higher level, you're misbattle again. This makes you forget the previous level so you can go up to the other level. Bezeu shahaliyah, this is the meaning that we say, shahaliyah me madrega le madrega aidei avoda. We're saying that it's through work. Why? As it says, ein la menucha, there's no menucha, which is avodas habitl. We're talking about non avodah. This is the avodah, the service of bitl. Bedugma ha'avodah lemata ba'olam hazeh. Similar to the work that we do here in this world, sheklalusa. Generally, what are we doing? Why are we working to serve the Eibishter? Ilitzaref esabrius. That is in order to clean the creation, to make them, burn them out, to be pure, to make them, to refine them. Zichur chubitl, a refinement and a subjugation. Avoida meloshen ibud oiris. To work means a language from to work the leather, tannery, to work it through, meaning a level of bitl. It's similar. The level of bitl we're talking about to go from madrega to madrega is similar to the avodah we do over here, which is meant to work us through so that we become refined and bottled. Like working through the tannery, which is work. And that's all the avodah. That's why ein la menucha, because they're also going up to the higher level through the level of bitl. And there's a further comparison, just like the avodah over here is in both areas. In surmerana seitoiv, by staying away from bad, you have to work hard not to fail, and working good to do the mitzvahs. Just as the work below is in both lines. Sur meirava seitoiv, to stay away from evil and do good. Al derech zeh hu gam b'habitl Sheba Ali is the Gan Eden. Similarly, is also the bittul when you go up in the elevation Gan Eden. Shubishnei kavim elu. This is also these two lines. The two specific we said before of immersing in the Nahar di Nur and going through the Amud is equivalent to the two kavim of Sur Meira and Asay Tov. Habitl shall yidei Nahar di Nur. The bitl that takes place through the Nahar di Nur, that's dugmas ha'avoida de Sur Meira kaviyachol. That is similar of the work of staying away from evil, so to speak. The immersion in the mikveh is to stay away, to wipe away the Sur Meira. Bitl shalidei ha'amud, but the bitl that takes place through the amud, that is shemitzad gilu eir elyon, which is from the revelation of the higher upper light. That's dugmas ha'avoida de va'asei toiv. That is similar to the avoida, the work of doing good. And these are the two aspects in Gan Eden. We say ein lahem menucha. The kol zeh hu began Eden. That's in Gan Eden. In Gan Eden, where there's a ha'ora from Eir Memale, you have to go through these levels of bittles to go through all the different levels. As opposed to the revelation will be in the times of Mashiach. Also, then will be many, many elevations. Those elevations will not be in the same way, going from strength to strength, which means, and without menucha, that you'll have to forget the previous level. That in order to get to a higher level, then you need to leave, go away, his battle to go away and negate madrega kademis. Elo, shagam bi yoise b'madregose hakademis. But even while you stay in your previous life, you don't need bittel, you don't need avodah. Yochel is ales lemadreges ha'elyoina. You can still elevate to the upper level. In Yemoisa Mashiach, you're not going to need the bittel, you're not going to need the Yelchu Mechayel L'chayel. It's interesting, over here it says Ayin Tzadik Ayin, which I think is Adayin Tzorich Iyon. The Rebbe is sort of saying this still needs to be sort of confirmed, what the Rebbe is saying over here, that the Yemoisa Mashiach, yes, we'll go from level to level, but we won't require this level of bittul that takes place. In any event, the Rebbe explained over here that the revelation in Gan Eden that comes from the Gilui of Eir HaMemale, over there, level to level, and you have to be elevated, you have to go through the bittul, the two levels of bittul. But in Yemoisa Mashiach, because we have the revelation of Bligvul, over there, it's not going to be to avodah. You can still be in your lower level. You don't need to be misbattle, and still you can go up to a higher level. And we shall continue. Okay, leave it over here.
Okay. Have a good day. Thank you very much.